Good morning from Amsterdam. Today we're going to install the Yale 300 series door closer. So we've got our tools here. The door closer is going to go on that door, which already has a wonky door closer that we need to replace. So it doesn't really work, faulty. The Yale is a good brand. It's supposed to do the job no problem. It's up to 80 kilos weight. It can go on it. It's pretty sturdy, and I think it's going to do the job. So we'll have to start by, having a ladder and removing the faulty one off the door. So we're just going to get the screws out, get it off the door, and then measure and install the other one, and also review it. So we will need a couple of tools in order to remove the door closer. We'll need a Phillips screwdriver and a couple of pliers. And the reason being, there's some square head screws and also Phillips heads. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm going first to remove the arm to release the pressure. And get it off the actual door closer. So that way we're not going to have pressure when removing the door closer off the door's frame. Well, let's get into the screws and get this whole thing off the door and the door frame. Yeah, so we removed the faulty door stopper, and just to show you what was wrong with it. So the bolt, which meant to be square, and the arm that's supposed to latch on it shaved. So once they fit, you just keep on moving without turning the bolt. So it happens, it's a wear and tear issue, but we're going to replace it with the new Yale, and that's going to do the job. So again, if you have problems with your door stopper, just check that the actual arm sits on the screw and it's not shaved, so it's actually turning it. So that's a reason for a fault. Let's get into it. Okay, so we unboxed the door closer. We have the door closer itself, a couple of screws, the arm, and the plan. Okay, so that's super easy. Basically what Yale's done, they provided us with a 1-to-1 scale of the door. This is the door hinges here. And you have instructions with the door hinges on the other side of the instruction page. Basically, if we take the door stopper, you can see that it sits exactly on the screws marked on the plan, and the arm sits here exactly on the screws. So basically what we'll have to do, we'll have to tape this thing on the door's frame. This is the line of the door, and then mark the screws, and when the door stopper is ready, just drill the screws into the frame and hang it up there. So basically we're going to mark the door after putting this on the door and the door frame for the arm. Once we mark it, we need to drill the metal for the screws to go into the holes, and then we're just going to mount it on the door. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're going forward. As I explained, the instructions blueprint is now sitting on the door. We just leave it with masking tape, so if you can see the lines around it, with this line here, this is the line of the door frame. so it sits exactly on the door. We're going to mark 1, 2, 3 and 4 holes, and the ones for the arm up here. And once they're marked, we can go ahead and mount the door closer. Let's start. Okay, so after marking the spots to drill on the door by the blueprint, by the plans, by the instructions, we're able to have the door stopper mounted. So the door closer has 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then 2 more screws for the arm. You just measure it by the plan, mark it, and very simply install it with the screws provided in the kit. You need to make sure that these two screws, the one here and the one here, they're the ones controlling the speed and the weight of the door latching and the door closing. So they need to face the frame, the hinges. Okay, so this is the way to install it. The hinges and the screws pointing into this side of the door frame. So all we have to do now is to adjust the weight of the closing of the door and the latching of the door by turning these 2 screws here, and we're done. Okay, so after adjusting the latching speed and the closing speed with the 2 screws here, we managed to optimize the door so you can adjust the pressure on it. Very sleepy. Works perfect. So it's been adjusted just here. Again, you need to adjust the oil pressure for latching and closing. And that's it. Job well done. Well, see you later from Amsterdam.